Alright, so Castle Crashers came to PC, but the local multiplayer is a little bit messed up with the controller stuff because when you plug in one Xbox controller and you try to use a keyboard to have two players, they control the same person, so it doesn't quite work. Now, the initial solution I found to this was by VST Power, and he found a great way to use the same software that I'm going to show to do it with some other controllers, such as the PlayStation 2 controller. However, this doesn't directly work with the Xbox controller because the Xbox controller is natively supported by Castle Crashers, and it creates some weird stuff. Now, I'm basically going to go through the same steps that VST Power did, and if you want to do this with the PS2 controller or whatever, check out his video. It was very helpful in showing me how to initially set this stuff up. So to do this with the Xbox 360 controller, go over to this link in the description. I'll have it down there. And download the Xbox 360 controller emulator. And this software will allow you to create a dynamic link library that Castle Crashers can use. So that way you can sort of map what you want your Xbox controller to do. Now, what you do after you download this, extract it to Castle Crashers directory folder. And if you got this through Steam like me, then it's going to be under this computer, your C drive, program files, times 86, Steam, Steam apps, common, Castle Crashers. And this is where you want to put your 360 controller emulator executable. And I already have my 360 controller plugged in, so I'll run it. And it says you want to create this initialization file, blah blah blah. Create the dynamic link library, yes. Now when you first start it up, it'll say, oh yeah, would you like to search the internet to get the mappings for the whatever controller you have plugged in. So just let it do its thing and it'll be good. Now the important thing they have to do in this executable is that you go under Advanced and uncheck this pass-through. This is used so that the dynamic link library doesn't just ignore the Xbox controller, because if this is checked, it'll just ignore it, and it'll just let it go through the software to just be whatever controller it is. So we want that unchecked, we want it to go through. And then after that's good, these should all be all good also. And then save it. And now the trick here is that you edit this configuration file. And what you do is that there's little identifier tags for all whatever controllers you have plugged in that software found. And on VST Power's video, he shows you that moving this right here works for PlayStation controllers and anything that's not natively supported by Castle Crashers. However, with the Xbox controller, this doesn't quite work by itself because Castle Crashers will see it and then it will just throw it onto the pad 1. So a way that I found to fix this is to basically create a fake controller to set to pad 1. And what you do that, I ended up just copying the same identifier and then tweaking the number right here. So that way it's just some number that's not going to mess up with my controller. It's just got to be something that's different. And the only other thing that you want to do is set pass-through to 0. Once I find where it's put. There we go. Pass-through. Copy that. Put it right there. So that way it won't ignore this fake controller that we're putting in. So after you create this little sort of like setting file right here, copy the identifier. Oh, missed the IG. Copy the identifier up there to pad 1. So that way something is mapped to pad 1, but it's not a real controller. So save it, exit out, and then when you run Castle Crashers, hopefully when it uses this library, the Xbox controller will be mapped on pad 2, the fake controller will be mapped on pad 1, and the keyboard will be mapped on pad 1. So let's navigate through and hopefully it works, if I've done my steps correctly. Alright, so I got the keyboard moving this one, and there's the Xbox controller, and it can independently move that one. and as you can see, worked well. Hopefully this fixes a lot of people's issues with the local multiplayer with Castle Crashers. If you have any other controllers that you want to set up, it's pretty much the same steps, but go check out VSD Power's video, because his way is really how I figured out how to do this. I just had to apply some extra guessing to try to get it to work with the Xbox controller. That's it for the video. Hopefully you get yours to work, and thanks for watching.